gimmicks. Yeah. No gimmicks, taking over, no limits. Motivation, the truth inside everything you are hearing. Important live, know you feel it. Wrestling is everything that we will know with special meaning. We on it live with no gimmicks. No gimmicks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again, alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada. Welcome to yet another episode of the No Gimmicks Podcast, broadcasting on the 3 and Out Radio Network. Dale, what's good, my man?
What's up, Todd? How are you doing? We got another independent wrestler interview that excited to have this guest on finally. And you know, it took a little bit of time to get it all squared away, but finally glad it's here.
Damn straight, but yeah, we got him here. We got Killer Kross. Killer Kross, what's happening, man?
Same old, working my ass off, training hard every day.
Yes, sir. So let's dive right on into this, brother. What inspired you to join the professional wrestling business?
I mean, truthfully, I was kind of pre-programmed as a little kid. I think one of the first memories I could probably ever recall was watching The Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. I legitimately think that's the first thing early I've ever had. So I just grew up with it, and I was magnetized by it like most wrestling fans. Everything kind of took off from that point.
Right on. Dale, what you got for Killer Kross?
So how long have you been in the professional wrestling business, and where'd you get the training from?
I've been in the professional wrestling for a little over 3 years, and I got my break with Stars of Wrestling in Las Vegas under the tutelage of Michael Modest and Disco Inferno.
Okay. So now Mike Modest actually has been a part of this podcast. He's produced some content for us called Straight Shooting with Michael Modest. Basically, you know, we for a while there were kind of keeping it family friendly and PG, but then when we gave the control to Mike, man, things got real quick. And he pretty much, you know, touched a lot of topics that Dale and I didn't feel comfortable doing so. So he gave it to everybody, you know, raw and uncut, just like he knows Mike is a real dude. And he's he gives you nothing but a cold hard dosage of the truth. That's just who he is.
Yep.
Yeah. So two of the nicknames which you've carried over the course of your career have been the Toll Man, also the Hero of Doomsday. So if you could please give us and our viewers kind of an explanation of their origins.
Yeah, absolutely. I cut a promo just right off the cuff in a live segment that I was doing. I think in the first month I started wrestling, I said something along the lines of all these guys in this company masquerading around as adults. You know, they're like children, putty, tinfoil in my hands. They want to walk around. They want to play the role. Well, when I come around, everybody's going to pay the toll. And then the crowd just started calling me the Toll Man. So I got that from the crowd. And one night I'd thrown a Saito suplex. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't try to do it any differently than I've ever done it. Crowd reaction was really intense. And when I hit the curtain, once the match was done, because it wasn't the finish, everyone came up to me and said I should have finished the match with that Saito because nothing was really able to follow the speed and the impact of that suplex after I hit it. They said it would have been perfect if we just finished the match. I believe Mike Modest actually told me that. He goes, you need to start finishing the matches with that. That looked ungodly. And I said, okay, you know, sure. I'm an old school, you know, I'm a fan of old school.
Okay.
So I don't, I mean, I love all professional wrestling, but I thought, you know, it was a nice tribute to go home with something like that. I was always a big fan of Masa Saito growing up, the Saito suplex and Dr. Death and Gary Albright. And we just winded up calling it the Doomsday Saito. And then the crowd just started calling me the Herald of Doomsday as a sort of a tongue-in-cheek to the Saito, Doomsday Saito suplex.
All right. Good stuff, man. Dale, what you got next for Killer Kross?
So just to kind of continue going all with that, you like to utilize several variations of the suplexes. Would you say that the finishing suplex that you have is your most favorite one?
I don't necessarily know that I have any favorites of anything that I do. My favorite is whatever gets the largest reaction out of the audience, whether that's a slip on a banana peel or a pile driver or a Doomsday Saito. I want to get the best reaction possibly can out of the audience. They really seem to like the Saito. So if I had to answer the question directly, sure.
Okay. So now you were the FSW heavyweight champion for well over a year. And I believe it was Eli Drake who defeated you for your title. So is there any chance, one more time, Kevin?
Sort of.
Okay, sort of. So hey, is there any chance that we will get to see you possibly in Impact challenging him for his Impact title?
Probably not. I've had a lot of people pulling for me to be in Impact Wrestling for over 2.5 years. And I don't know. I don't know if you have to be baptized in with friends in the office. I don't know if people like to hire solely based on personal preference and referral. I have no idea. But I do know that Jeff Jarrett and Karen were very high up on me and were interested in having me over there. I know that Johnny Mundo and Taya are very interested in having me there, just to name a few. They've all thrown my name in the hat numerous times. And some people in production, I don't want to give them any heat, have been interested in having me a part of the company for 2 years. So I won't assume, but I'll just let you know. They know who I am. And all of the right people have been trying to pull to get me there for quite some time. So obviously there's a certain select party of people who perhaps are solely interested in hiring the hopeful and the hopeless rather than the people who can actually bring hope to the program.
Right. Okay. So Dale, what you got next for Killer?
Well, I'm just going to continue right along with that. You brought up Jeff Jarrett. So explain a little bit what it was like working with him in Global Force Wrestling.
An absolute pleasure. Jeff was my employer, and we warmed up to each other fairly quickly. We just clicked. Our personalities clicked, and he was just always a joy to be around. He was always a lot of fun to be around. And after we had wrapped the original Global Force tapings 3 years ago, I wound up always staying in touch with him, and I could call him a friend. He's not a super close friend like my best friend that I talk to every day. I won't embellish, but I would call him a friend, absolutely, and I try to stay in contact with him as often as possible.
Okay.
Do you think his separation from Impact could have played a part with you kind of having a future there? Maybe yes or no?
No, because I was not necessarily married to Impact or Global Force Wrestling, I should say. I wasn't revered as Jeff's guy. I was just a talent that was there to contribute the absolute most I possibly could. And yeah, I couldn't tell you why. I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. But I can tell you, I don't think Jeff has anything to do with that at all. I know he was pulling for me. He was very interested in having me there for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of friends who you text every day and drive up the wall, man, that would be Dale for me. I text that dude probably more than I text my family. His wife, April, can you attest to that?
I got heat. It was like with the wife because how much me and Todd talk. So yeah.
So now you also had the chance to work overseas for Antonio Inoki's IGF. That's the Inoki Genome Federation. Do you have any interest in working for any other companies over there, such as possibly New Japan or Noah or whatnot?
I would be thrilled to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling or Noah or really any company. Obviously, if I had a choice of the other that I just mentioned, but I really enjoyed my time in Japan. I grew up in a combat sports family. I learned a lot about Japanese culture, studying Kyokushinkai, Shotokan growing up from a guy who was, half Japanese, half Korean. So a lot of the martial arts traditionally that I learned growing up, the culture and the concepts of discipline were involved, specifically in that. There wasn't a whole lot of that in boxing and Muay Thai, but yeah, I mean, I would love to go back in any sort of capacity. I really enjoyed myself there, and I love the food.
Okay. So let's follow up on that real quick. This is absolutely, dream match type thing right here. You get the call from New Japan tomorrow, and they say, "Hey, man, we're gonna put you on the card for Wrestle Kingdom 12. Dream match. Who would you want to face, man? If anybody?"
Okada.
Okay.
Right away, Okada. He's the top draw, arguably, in Japan, and Okada would be the guy, because I know that they'd want to see it more than once. They'd want to see it more than twice, 3 times, 4 times. And we could do it a million different ways. It would be hard hitting and be very entertaining. And I think that my style would really complement his, especially for the casual viewer of wrestling as well. You have the residual audience that continues to show up. That demographic's never going anywhere. But, hypothetically, if someone had chopped up parts, we always see these 15-second bits on social media, and someone who doesn't even watch wrestling would see some of the stuff that I would be doing in Japan, hypothetically with Okada. I think I'm very confident that I could make a fan out of someone who's not a fan. And that's something I prided myself on the last 2 years. I've really tried to gear my character presentation towards a wider demographic than just the pro wrestling audience. I think it's important to keep trying to grow our fan base, how we stay alive. And as we know, it's no secret, a large majority of the fan base has dissipated over the years for a variety of reasons. But yeah, that's what I would bring to the table.
Good stuff, man. Dale, what you got next for Killer Kross here?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to get the opportunity, might as well go to the top of the ladder. Speaking of that, it's like the top American company is WWE. Back in 2015, you worked a tag team match on Raw with Darren Young. What kind of led to that opportunity?
That was pretty funny. I was just backstage doing some background work or whatever really they needed me to do. I always bring my gear with me everywhere I go. Like literally, I mean, everywhere I go in the world, always just in case. And Regal came up to me, Steve Regal, and said, "Hey, going on tonight, we would be happy to use you for something. I suggest you out of everyone here. I hope you don't mind." Not at all. And he goes, "Okay, go see Fit and see exactly what it is that they need you to do. You brought your gear, right?" "Of course." So I went up to Fit. He explained the situation. We went out there and we all did our best to get the angle over. It just kind of happened just like that. It wasn't heavily meditated. They just needed to that they trusted that they had confidence in to carry out a spot on television, and they chose me to do it.
Well, okay. Yeah, it's like they say, man, you're always ready, then you don't have to worry about getting ready. So with that being said, just to kind of follow up on that, why is the WWE not signing you to a developmental deal?
That's an excellent question. You guys should berate them every single day and ask them that. Truthfully, I've had a healthy correspondence with WWE since then. I have been, I don't know, I don't mean this pretentiously, so I don't want this to be misunderstood, but I haven't been aggressively trying to stay in touch with WWE or going after WWE because I actually had a tryout with them in my first year in Columbus, Ohio. And it was at the Arnold's. It was 180,000 people there live. They tried to kill us. And it was actually the day that Bill DeMott had resigned.
Oh.
Matt Bloom had actually taken over as the head trainer. So I did my tryout and I got a green light and they said everything looks good. And the director of talent relations basically just asked me to continue to diversify my already technical abilities in his exact verbatim words. And he said he'd be in touch, and we've always stayed in touch. And 2018 is going to be very interesting. That's all I'll say. Anything can happen.
Yes, it can. Dale, what you got next for Killer Kross?
So you also have had the opportunity to work some dark matches during tapings for Lucha Underground. How has that experience been for you?
That was the most surreal experience I've ever had. With all due respect to every single company I've ever worked with, Lucha Underground had energy from that audience that you cannot recreate. And I'm not trying to embellish. I'm being totally honest with you guys. That is a show that people need to see live. You could literally feel a buzz physically walking down those steps on the way to the ring. The crowd makes that show. The crowd makes every show, but I mean, specifically this place, there's just something insane there that you cannot cultivate. And I've been very, very grateful to have been able to play a small part in the success of that program, along with everyone else. Being a part of that crew for season 2 and 3 was so awesome. And yeah, that's kind of all I can say about the Darks. But there's not too much to say about it. I went out there and I killed it the best I could, and we got an excellent reaction from the audience every time. We had great matches. And when Lucha Underground decides to put something of me on television, you guys you'll see it, and it will be really, really insane. That's all I can say.
You're damn right. We'll see it, because Dale and I are both believers, and you are the third person who's tied into Lucha Underground, who we have had as a guest on our show. We've also had Marty the Moth, who was our first interview on the No Game podcast, and also Marty Elias. Referee Marty Elias has been on the show. So yeah, so you're the third person who's worked for Lucha who we've had on here. So speaking of Lucha, in AAA, they gave you the moniker of the Devil of Monterrey, just because of some of the brutal tactics you display and how you beat the hell out of 4 or 5 of those women who got in the way of you in the ring there. So you did forge a little bit of a partnership, I believe, with Johnny Mundo and Taya briefly. I guess it was called Lucha Royalty.
Yep.
So is there any chance that we get to see that faction reunite in the near future? I'm not just talking about AAA. I mean, like some form of it even somewhere else possibly.
Like I said, you guys got to put a coalition together and start berating for these promoters. You know, I'm not attacking promoters. I'm not trying to make excuses or anything. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of independent promoters like to book what they want to see versus what their crowd wants to see, or hypothetically showing their crowd an alternative to what every single other show is doing. You know, you have 2 guys that kill it everywhere they go. People have seen that match 30, 40, 50 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought that's a dangerous thing to keep doing, to keep rebooking the same exact match in every single city and every single state over and over and over again. Because what winds up happening is the crowd can watch that match on the internet. And of course, they're going to show up and they're going to want to see it live because it's something totally different. But I think you're abusing the crowd by not showing them new things. And I don't know. Book it if you like it. Book it if you want to see something new. Book it to show your audience an alternative to something that no one has seen in the United States. That's how I would sell it. That was a lot of fun working with the 2 of them. They're both from 2 different worlds, 2 different types of experience that I was able to kind of collect for myself working with them. I consider John and Ty a family, and the 3 of us have wanted to get that on American television since it was on Mexican television. That's something that the 3 of us have been pulling hard for, because the reaction that we got out there was chaotic. It was totally insane.
So now, hey, real quick before we jump to the next question, I'm quite sure if I did enough research, I could figure this out on my own. But since we have you here, what's the best way for us to catch AAA here in the United States? Like what network broadcasts it usually?
You know, I used to think it was on Telemundo, but I actually don't know. The last thing I had heard, and this is several months ago, and this is through the grapevine, so you can't confirm this or attach anything to it. I just heard this, not from anybody in particular specific. I know that certain individuals in the company on a corporate level were interested in getting some sort of distribution into the United States, but that's been something that they wanted to do for a very long time.
Okay.
I never heard a time frame on it, but they have been really interested in finding a way to facilitate the distribution in the United States. Hopefully one day they find a way to do that. But as of right now, I don't think you can the TV on or watch it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll just have to check out what we got of AAA stuff from you on YouTube then, I guess, for time being until that happens.
That's actually the best thing to do. I mean, you can watch the entire program on YouTube completely for free.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
Good
YouTube
stuff.
channel, AAA Lucha Libre Worldwide, I believe.
Okay, cool. Dale, what you got next for Killer Kross?
So you've got several tattoos. Anyone in particular that has done all of them, and are you done getting them?
I will say every single time I finish a piece of work tattoo-wise that I'm never getting tattoos again, and then I want tattoos. So I'm not going to say that I am not going to get any more tattoos because that's possible, but I got nothing on my mind right now, and I only go to one artist and one artist only. His name is Chris Contant. He is here in Las Vegas at Blue Note Tattoo. Blue Note Tattoo. He's excellent. Works very quickly. I've rarely ever needed any touch from him, and he's super creative and does a lot of custom. The place is awesome, super clean, super friendly, and he'll always get back to everyone. Reach out to him. He's got a Facebook page. He has a website. I believe it's bluenotetattoo.com. The guy is awesome.
Good stuff. Hey, so this is something that I'm infamous for, so I guess it only properly is fitting that the interview flowed in this direction. I'm known for making comparisons as to who people remind me of or like who they look like and whatnot. And I just kept on telling Dale, I said, this dude reminds me of Randy Orton. You know, similar look, like the similar haircut build, you know, with the tats, you know, and everything. Do you get that comparison from other people, though?
I've gotten that comparison before, but this is really weird. I've gotten the comparison that I remind people of The Rock. Not necessarily that I look like him, but my demeanor, the way I choose to speak with people, the way I just handle people. I've been getting that since I was like 15 years old.
Huh.
I've been getting that forever. Everyone who personally knows me has always said that.
You sound like Rock a little bit.
Hey, I mean, both are high compliments. Both guys self-made millionaires, working very hard and holding down the business so guys like me years later can try my hand at it and have a career. Grateful to both of them. Both is a high compliment. Thank you.
Truth. Dale, what you got next for Killer Kross here?
So outside of wrestling, any other interests or hobbies?
For the last 2.5 years, I have done nothing but pro wrestling. I haven't had to work. Enough sponsorships, endorsements, and pro wrestling money, and I've just been traveling the world doing it. I wanted to see how much I could get out of pro wrestling if I just made it my main focus, and the fruits of the labor have been very, very good. I'm feeling very fulfilled right now. Not satiated, still very hungry, still got a lot of work to do, and I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, recreationally at this point now, I train combative arts. Right now, over the last couple of months, I started training judo traditionally with gi, with Ryoko team at Vanderlei Silva's mixed martial arts team academy here in Las Vegas. They have an excellent team that competes nationally. They crush everybody. All the guys in there are all certified killers. Awesome, awesome guys. A lot of Cubans that are in there as well, and judo is taken super seriously, very militant in Cuba. So if you can ever work with someone who's from Cuba, who learned judo from Cuba, I would tell you 100% to take advantage of that. There's siphons of knowledge all those ways. Other than combative arts, I mean, I see a lot of the shows. Believe it or not, I'm a bit of a theater nerd. I love theater. I go see all the shows out here in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's one show I actually just saw in New York City recently. It was called Sleep No More. And for anyone listening, and you guys, if you guys are ever passing through the city, even once this podcast is done, Google it, Sleep No More. It is one of the craziest theatrical shows I've ever had in my life. And I don't even want to tell you guys what it's about or anything about the experience. It's something you literally have to see for yourself. I have no affiliation of it whatsoever. It's just, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I'm a big guy, whether it's combat or theater, I guess. That's where I kind of fall.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm about an hour or so away from Broadway, man. So I don't know if that show will possibly come out, to New York City. But yeah, just the title alone, has me intrigued. So yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out.
You have to see it and just go in with an open mind. You're going to see some really insane things in there. It's just best you don't know anything.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not afraid to say I've seen The Color Purple and I've seen the Motown show over there on Broadway. Both excellent shows, man.
Have you guys? Yeah, awesome. I can't remember what city I saw Motown in, but I loved it. I just recently saw it too. But have you guys ever seen that Stanley Kubrick film? It was the last one he did before he died.
Oh, Eyes Wide Shut?
Yes, this is very, very Eyes Wide Shut. So
orgies and everything, huh?
Oh, you got to see it. It's just crazy. Anything. I went in blind, and it was so much better that I had no idea what I was watching or doing or seeing. Nothing.
Yeah, it happens that way. When I saw the movie The Game with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn, I did not know a single thing about it, and yeah, it was an amazing film. So I know what you mean when you say that.
Yeah,
good stuff. So Dale, what you got next for Killer Kross?
Hold on. So if you could change anything about professional wrestling on the indies, what might it be?
What would I change? I don't think I'd necessarily change anything. I think the independents are doing probably better now than yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with independents. I thought in the beginning, I'll be honest with you guys, I thought in the beginning when I got involved with pro wrestling and started training that I really would want to expedite my process getting involved at a commercial level with professional WWE or Ring of Honor or Impact or going to Japan. I didn't think I was going to enjoy the indies, and it's actually been the total opposite. I've actually really loved the independents. I've been able to meet a lot of really awesome people. I've been able to hone my craft. And at the end of the day, the longer time you spend on the indies, as long as you're healthy, the better it's going to be once you get to television. As long as you're doing things right and you're exercising the right motions and you're paying attention and you're learning and you remain a student of the game. I think the independents are doing great.
Okay. So now, hey, at this point in the interview, man, we would like to give you the opportunity to promote any of your upcoming shows, any appearances that you have coming up, projects which you're involved in. So at this point in time, Killer Kross, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Los Angeles, December 23rd, I will be competing against Cowboy James Storm at Maverick Pro. I'm going to punch James Storms in his face. Probably going to try to knock some of the teeth out of the left side of his bottom jaw. So it's definitely going to be worth your time, December 23rd, Maverick Pro. As well, I finally set up a website. It's www.killerkross.com. That is all of my social media, videos, photos of my career over the last 3 years, merchandise, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Origins, a history of my career, anything you could possibly think of, including a business contact, is on that page. I would send you guys there. And I'm not saying I have anything to do with this, but I'm just saying, if you guys haven't started watching House of Hardcore, it's on Twitch. And if you haven't started watching yet, I'm just saying I'm a big fan of it. You guys might want to start watching it like immediately, especially next Wednesday.
All right, man. Hey, so one thing is for sure, we would love to sit up here and talk to Killer Kross all night long about his career and whatnot, but unfortunately, we've come to the end of this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. So thank you for joining us for our interview with the Tolman, the Herald of Doomsday, Devil of Monterrey, however you want to call him, Killer Kross. It's been a pleasure having you on the No Gimmicks Podcast, brother.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We are No Gimmicks, No Image, all wrestling all the time. Make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share our videos.
No gimmicks. Yeah. No gimmicks, taking over, no limits. Motivation, the truth inside everything you are hearing. Important live, know you feel it. Wrestling is everything that we will